In this fast-paced real estate market, I've seen home sellers try to accommodate their potential buyers by doing one or both of two things for the buyer. And that is paying for a home inspection ahead of time and providing the inspection report to the buyer, or allowing the buyer to do a pre-home inspection prior to submitting an offer. This is a perfect example of why you want an experienced real estate agent advising you on the sale of your home, because both of these options create avoidable legal risk for the seller. And in a recent survey I did, 75% of home sellers in a Seattle area neighborhood are doing one or both of these things that can put them at legal risk. Hi, I'm BobWoolverton. I'm with Pure Real Estate in Bellevue, Washington. Here on YouTube, I'm known as your Northwest Realty Advisor. When people ask me what I do for a living, I tell them I help people sleep at night, because my clients can sleep in comfort knowing some of their largest assets are in knowledgeable and competent hands. I'm also the author of two books, The Part of Leadership No One Talks About, that's available on Amazon.com, and more importantly, for viewers here, my secret wealth of information for any home seller. And I put a link in the description below where you can get a free copy of this book. All you have to do is tell me where to send the book. When we come back after this 8-second break, I'll explain why pre-inspections can cause avoidable legal problems for home sellers. So stick around. In this fast-paced real estate market, many sellers, with the best of intentions, have opted to pay for a home inspection prior to listing their home for sale and then making the inspection report available to potential buyers before the buyer even makes an offer on the home. In other instances, sellers are allowing potential buyers to pay for their own home inspection prior to making an offer on the home, also known as a pre-inspection. Both of these options create avoidable legal risk for the seller, and as a seller, you need to know what can go wrong in each of these situations. So let's say you're planning to put your home on the market, and you want to show potential buyers you have taken good care of your home. And as a gesture of good faith, you pay for a home inspection and make the inspection report available to all potential buyers. Now, in the interest of expediency in this video, we'll fast forward right past the sale of the home and move right into the opening argument of the potential post-closing lawsuit the buyer files against the seller. And the opening argument sounds like this. The seller prohibited us from confirming the actual condition of the property by forcing us to rely on their inspection report, which further solidified their misrepresentation of the property, and as a result, we were damaged through our purchase of that property that was not consistent with the disclosures by the seller. The point here is this: don't limit the buyers to using only the seller's inspection report. It creates nothing but risk for the seller. Allow the buyer to do their own due diligence, and then if there are any inconsistencies, that's the burden of the buyer, and they have no one to blame but themselves. In other situations, sometimes sellers are allowing potential buyers to pay for a pre-inspection, and that's done through a Form 35P, the pre-inspection agreement. We know under today's circumstances, most sellers are getting multiple offers, sometimes exceeding more than a dozen offers. So this means in this case, there could be potentially a dozen or more inspectors poking and prodding at your property, which increases the potential for some damage to occur. Now, the potential buyer is responsible for any damage caused by their inspector, but if you're having several inspectors each day over the course of several days, pinpointing who caused the damage may be problematic. But that is the least of your worries. The Form 35P says right here, the buyer shall not provide the inspection report or portions of the report to the seller unless the seller requests otherwise. But what if a buyer does attach an inspection report to their offer, and the inspection report contains harmful information? Once the inspection report has been delivered, you can't unring the bell. You can't unsee the information. And now you potentially have damaging information you didn't know about previously, but now that it's been brought to your attention, you're required to disclose that information to other buyers. And in some cases, a buyer may deliver an inspection report that is particularly horrific in an effort to exert leverage over the seller. In essence, what they're saying is, well, now you have this horrible information, you're going to have to share it anyway, so you might as well negotiate with me. Or, what happens if a buyer delivers a particularly horrific inspection report that you do not agree with? In essence, you believe the report is not accurate, it's not an accurate depiction of the condition of your property, but you're not a professional home inspector. So now, how do you deal with this? Well, now you're in a position where you need to consult with an attorney. But how did you get into this position in the first place? You got into this position by trying to be a nice person and remove some of the burden of due diligence from the buyer's shoulders and either provided an inspection report for them, saving them roughly $500, or allowing them to pre-inspect your home without even making a good faith offer to purchase your home in the first place. By attempting to assist the buyer by removing some of their due diligence burden, all you're doing is shifting some of that burden onto your shoulders and creating more legal risk for yourself as the seller. Now let's take it one step further. Let's say the buyer gets a pre-inspection report that says there's a leak in the roof and mold in the attic. But there's no provision in the Form 35P that allows the potential buyer to bring in a roofing contractor and a mold remediation contractor to get bids to determine what these repairs may cost. So if the buyer is still interested in buying your home, but wants to find out the extent of what these repairs will cost, they will have to submit an offer with an inspection contingency, which will allow them enough time to get the bids they desire to fully understand the condition of your property. So, if the end result is an offer to buy your home that has an inspection contingency anyway, as a seller, why would you want to bear the additional legal risk of either providing an inspection to the buyer that could cause you to get sued in court, or allow potential buyers to do pre-inspections that can result in adverse information about your property that you will have to disclose to other buyers, especially considering the potential buyer doing the inspection had not even made an offer yet? Or you might end up with an offer to purchase your home that has an inspection contingency anyway. Either option only creates greater legal risk for the seller, so why would you do that? I recently did a small survey of single-family homes in a Seattle area neighborhood that went into contract and are waiting to close. In my small survey, 42% of the sellers provided an inspection report for potential buyers to review before making an offer, i.e. allowing potential buyers to rely on the seller's supplied inspection report. We already talked about the risk of doing that. That was the opening remarks in the post-closing lawsuit. And 58% of the sellers in my survey allowed pre-inspections to be conducted by potential buyers. And 25% of the sellers did both. And only 25% of the sellers protected their legal exposure by doing neither. So this is a perfect example of why you want a knowledgeable real estate agent representing you in the sale of your home. Because only 25% of these sellers in my survey got good advice from the real estate agent and did neither. Well, that music means we're out of time for today. I hope you found value in today's video. If you did, click that subscribe button and click that notification bell. That notification bell will notify you when I post new videos. If you'd like to get a copy of my book called My Secret Wealth of Information for Any Home Seller, I posted a link in the description section below. All you have to do, tell me where to send the book. If you'd like to contact me, you can find my email address and my telephone number in the description below and at the end of this video. Call me or email me. I'd love to hear from you, and I'd love to represent you in your next real estate transaction. I'm Bob Woolverton. I'm with Pure Real Estate in Bellevue, Washington. Here on YouTube, I'm known as your Northwest Realty Advisor. When people ask me what I do for a living, I tell them I help people sleep at night, because my clients can sleep in comfort knowing some of their largest assets are in knowledgeable and competent hands. Oh, and every Tuesday morning at 7 a.m., I post new videos about buying, selling, or investing in real estate, as well as some home tours and listing videos. I'll look forward to seeing you next week.